The night was colder than usual, and the city lights flickered across the river like broken stars. On the bridge, a young woman stood trembling, gripping the railing as though it were the last thing holding her to the world. Her shoes were wet from the mist, her eyes swollen from crying, and her breath shaky and uneven. Then came the whisper that changed everything. "Don't do it." A firm hand closed around her wrist, warm, steady, refusing to let go. She froze, stunned. She hadn't heard footsteps, hadn't sensed a soul around her. But now, someone stood behind her, holding on with a strength that felt almost protective. "Let me go," she cried weakly. "No," the stranger said. "Not tonight. Not like this." His voice wasn't sharp. It was calm, deep, almost soothing, yet filled with a seriousness that made her chest tighten. She turned slowly to look at him. Tall. Well-dressed. A dark coat, expensive shoes, hair messy from the wind. Eyes that looked like they'd seen more pain than he ever let people know. She had no idea who he was. Not yet. Her name was Mira. Mira was 25, once full of dreams, now crushed under the weight of reality. She had lost her job 2 weeks ago. Her landlord wanted her out. Her mother's medical bills were choking her savings dry. She had fought and fought and fought, until there was nothing left to fight with. She thought the river would be quieter than her thoughts. But fate sent her someone else instead. His name was Adrian Hale. She didn't know that the man holding her wrist was Adrian Hale, Billionaire CEO, founder of Hale Tech, one of the most powerful companies in the country. To the world, he was cold, strategic, brilliant. But at that moment, he was simply a man who couldn't walk away. "Come with me," Adrian said quietly. "At least somewhere warm. You don't owe me anything. But you owe yourself a moment to breathe." Mira hesitated, but something in his voice made her nod. At the Riverside Cafe. They entered a small cafe still open past midnight. Warm light, quiet music, the smell of coffee, it felt unreal after the freezing wind on the bridge. Adrian ordered tea for her and sat across the table. "You don't have to tell me anything," he said. "But I'm here if you do." Mira looked down at her shaking hands. "I'm just tired," she whispered. "Tired of working so hard and still failing. My mom is sick. I'm behind on rent. I lost my job because the company downsized. Everything fell apart at once." He didn't interrupt. He didn't judge. He just listened, a luxury she hadn't been given in months. When she finally looked up, she frowned. "Why were you even on the bridge at this hour?" "It was empty." Adrian paused. "I was going to jump too," he said softly. Her breath caught. "I had everything money could buy," he continued, "but nothing that mattered. No family. No one who cared about me beyond profit. Success became a cage. Tonight felt like the breaking point." Mira stared at him, shocked. A billionaire. Broken like her. Empty like her. But he smiled faintly. "Then I saw you. And suddenly, my life had a purpose again." Their challenges begin. Adrian insisted on walking her home. Not romantically, just to ensure she was safe. But when they reached her building, he saw the eviction notice. "You weren't lying," he said quietly. "I never do," she whispered. For the next few days, Adrian checked on her. Not with money. Not with pity. Just with presence. Food. Conversations. Support. But rumors began to spread. A billionaire seen with a struggling woman. The media exploded. Photographers camped outside her building. Online comments were cruel. People accused her of trapping him. Others accused him of using her. Their connection was suddenly a battlefield. Then came the worst blow. Adrian's board of directors told him to cut ties with her or risk losing investor confidence. "She's damaging the company's image," they said. Those words burned both of them. Mira stepped back, tears in her eyes. "I don't want to ruin your life. You saved me. I won't let people destroy you because of me." She tried to walk away. But Adrian grabbed her hand. "Let them try," he said. "I won't lose the first real connection I've made in years." Their turning point. Adrian made a bold decision. He held a press conference himself. He told the entire world the truth. That night, she saved me just as much as I saved her. I refuse to be ashamed of caring about another human being. The world didn't expect such vulnerability from a billionaire. The criticism softened. Compassion grew. People saw sincerity in his eyes. Mira watched the conference on an old TV, tears running down her face. Nobody had ever defended her like that. A new beginning. Adrian offered Mira a stable job at Hale Tech, not out of charity, but because he saw her intelligence and resilience. She accepted. She worked hard. She earned respect. And slowly, they healed together. The nightmares of that night became memories they grew strong from. They spent evenings talking, laughing, helping each other rebuild. Their bond deepened, slowly transforming into something neither rushed nor expected. Two broken souls who had met on a bridge, both ready to give up, now helping each other rise. The inspiring message. Life doesn't always give us perfect beginnings. Sometimes it gives us storms, darkness, cold nights on bridges. But hope isn't always loud. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the form of a stranger who refuses to let go. And sometimes, the person you save ends up saving you too. The morning sun poured softly through the office windows of Hale Tech, warming the floor where Mira sat with her laptop. It had been 3 months since the night on the bridge, 3 months since fate tied her life to Adrian Hale's in a way neither of them had expected. Mira now worked as Adrian's executive assistant. She was good at the job, organized, thoughtful, hardworking. But more importantly, she brought something Hale Tech desperately lacked: heart. And Adrian saw it every day. Yet, not everyone appreciated her presence. Whispers in the boardroom. Why is she still here? She's manipulating him. She came from nothing. She doesn't belong in a company like this. Mira heard the whispers every time she walked into a meeting room. The executives hid their disdain behind fake smiles, but she could feel the sharpness beneath. Adrian noticed too. One afternoon, he stood beside her as she arranged documents for a meeting. "Does it bother you?" he asked. She smiled sadly. "I've been judged my whole life. I'm used to it." "But you shouldn't have to be," Adrian said softly. There was a weight behind his words, something deeper than concern. Something that made Mira's chest warm. A storm beneath the surface. Despite the growing bond between them, Mira tried hard to remain professional. She didn't want anyone to think she was using him. She didn't want Adrian to lose more because of her. But Adrian, he was changing. He smiled more. He slept better. He even joked with staff occasionally, something unheard of before. Only Mira seemed to bring out that side of him. But with this newfound warmth came new enemies, particularly Marcus Vance, the senior board member who had always wanted control of the company. Marcus had been waiting for an opportunity to strike, and Mira was the perfect target. The night of the setup. One rainy evening, Mira was staying late to organize files for an important presentation. The office was quiet, the rain tapping lightly against the huge glass windows. Suddenly, Marcus walked in with a grim expression. "You need to leave the company," he said sharply. Mira blinked. "Why? What have I done?" "You're a distraction. A weakness. And you're dragging Adrian down." "I've done nothing wrong," she said firmly. Marcus stepped closer, lowering his voice. "If you don't resign, I'll make sure the world believes you're after his money. I'll leak photos, messages, anything necessary." Mira felt her throat tighten. "Why are you doing this?" "Because Adrian listens to you more than he listens to me," Marcus said coldly. "And I won't let you destroy my influence." Then he placed a folder on the table. Inside were photos, doctored images of her with another man, twisted narratives created to make her look unfaithful and manipulative. "If these go public," Marcus said, "you'll be ruined, and so will Adrian." Mira's hands trembled. She felt as if the same darkness from that bridge night had returned, trying to swallow her again. Breaking point. She walked out of the office with tears she tried to hide. As she reached the elevator, Adrian stepped out, noticing her red eyes immediately. "Mira. What happened?" "Nothing," she whispered. "I just need air." Adrian grabbed her arm gently. Talk to me. Please. She shook her head. I don't want to ruin your life. Those words stopped him cold. What are you talking about? He demanded. Mira couldn't hold it anymore. She burst into tears. I thought I escaped the pain of that bridge. But it followed me here. Maybe Marcus is right, maybe I don't belong in your world. Adrian inhaled sharply, his chest tightening. He cupped her shoulders gently, forcing her to look at him. Mira, you saved my life. You gave me purpose. You belong with me more than anyone here. His voice shook as he said it. She wiped her tears. I don't want to be the reason people hurt you. You're not hurting me, he whispered. You're healing me, piece by piece. For a moment, the world softened around them, rain tapping softly behind the glass. Adrian stand. The next morning, Adrian stormed into the board meeting. If anyone threatens Mira again, he said, his voice low but dangerous, they will deal with me personally. Marcus smirked. She's controlling you. No, Adrian said sharply. But she makes me a better man. And if any of you can't respect her, you don't deserve to be part of this company. The room froze. No one had ever seen Adrian defend someone with such passion. Marcus clenched his jaw, realizing he had awakened a side of Adrian he couldn't control. A quiet moment of truth. After the meeting, Adrian found Mira in the same cafe where he had first taken her that night on the bridge. She looked up as he sat across from her. You don't have to fight for me, she whispered. I want to, he replied. You're worth fighting for. Mira felt the walls around her heart soften. But the world is harsh, she said. They'll never accept someone like me beside someone like you. Adrian smiled gently. Then let them watch how wrong they are. He didn't grab her hand. He didn't rush anything. But the warmth in his eyes said everything he didn't speak aloud. She wasn't alone. Not anymore. Chapter 2 Ending Message. Sometimes the battles we face after being saved are even harder than the moment of breaking. But when love begins to grow between two wounded souls, it becomes stronger than every whisper, every rumor, every storm. And together, they weren't just surviving anymore, they were healing.